This is the most important social skills advice for shy people. For my entire life, I've been shy. Talking to people felt so hard to me. I had so much resistance to doing that. I literally felt blocked and trapped within. And now talking to people is easy for me. Talking to people is normal. It feels normal, like something comfortable. And that's what it should be. It's not like you probably have a projection on this, on you having fantastic social skills. And you probably can visualize yourself being so charismatic and it's just an enlightening experience. It's not an enlightening experience. It's just like talking to yourself. It's just like being home alone. That's what it feels. That's the goal. And if you can relate to this, to how I've been throughout my life, then I really think my story will help you and my realization will put you on the right path. So, back when I was shy and afraid to talk to people, I discovered this concept of social skills. I saw these people online talking about how there is this thing called social skills that if you were to improve it, you would just get to the point where socializing, talking to people feels good, feels easy, and you get validation from them, and it's also nice and green. And I started working on that. Now, I managed to improve it. I objectively overall improved my social life massively. I made new friends. I was able to please the other people around me, to talk about their interests, to compliment them, to listen to them properly. I just followed the tips I saw online, which are good. But after I did that and I got used to it, what I realized was that something still feels off. I still feel pressure, I still feel tension. I'm just able to kind of manage it with a couple of tips and tricks here and there. But if the situation gets out of hand, for example, if I have to talk in front of a bigger group of people, then I freeze up. And the state that I worked on removing, on running from, is just back and is taking charge of me. So I just realized that something's wrong. Something's not right with my approach, and social skills didn't get me to the point where I wanted to get to. And this is where most people go wrong, and this is exactly the mistake that I've done for so many years. So please hear me out, this is very important. When you try to improve your social skills, when you continuously try to improve your social skills, you get to this point where you realize that, okay, they didn't get me what I wanted. My projection of what the future and the experience of talking to people would feel like is very different to what it actually feels like when you have the social skills. Now, this is just human nature, it's not your fault, but the conclusion you draw, the conclusion everyone draws, and I did this as well, is that there is something wrong with you. You didn't implement them properly, because all these people online just talked about how beautiful and fantastic and enlightening the experience is when you are able to be charismatic, to have the social skills to bond with people, because they need to sell their products, they need to market themselves properly. So of course they try to make it seem like it's some out of body experience, but it's not like that. But the conclusion you end up drawing inevitably is that you are not good enough, that there is something wrong with you, that you need to improve even more, even more, even more. So you just try harder and harder and harder, and you try to find new tactics and read new books and listen to podcasts and see people talk, and you start analyzing how other people are interacting with others, and what one-liners they're saying, what type of humor they have. You start being extremely cautious and self-aware about yourself, about everyone around you, and you try to craft this perfect personality that you can present to the world, because you believe you lack something here within. And because you lack something within, there are a couple of things that you could employ and your social experience would be perfect. But this is where you go wrong, because that's not the case whatsoever. That's just an illusion. And the biggest realization and the sad truth about this approach is that when you continuously for years try to improve your social skills, your confidence, charisma, being more funny, what you're telling to your subconscious is that I am not confident, I am not charismatic, I do not have social skills, I am a loser. And your subconscious now believes you're a loser. So good job, loser. Now it's so much harder to improve your social skills and not to improve it to, I don't know, reach some goal, but just to feel good when you talk to people, because that was the initial goal, wasn't it? You just wanted to feel good talking to people, and now you believe you're a loser. And it's very unfortunate, and it's pretty difficult to get out of this state. Oh, I wish I didn't waste so much time with this pursuit, and you probably do as well. But yeah, with every single new social skills video and charisma improvement tips and tricks you see, you're just telling your brain that you're a loser. And that belief that belief gets reinforced time and time and time again, until the belief that you're a loser is so strongly inherited by you that that's your identity. And with all of these tips and tricks, you're just trying to change the way you seem, to change your appearance, and basically to scam people. You are a social clickbait, and you're trying to get people to buy into you. But if you've managed to craft this personality that, let's say you are able to do a small talk perfectly well, right? You're able to have these shallow connections pretty well now. People like kind of being around you, but when you get into a deeper friendship with someone, when you spend more time with someone, your real self comes out, because you can't fake it for hours. You can only fake it for like maybe half an hour. Even that's pretty tough to talk, like to put this personality up for half an hour straight. Maybe you can fake it for like 10 minutes. That's pretty achievable, and that's where I've been for so long. But then if you get into a deeper conversation, your insecurities just start showing. And guess what happens to the people around you? Guess what happens to their opinions about you? They're disappointed, because they had very high expectations of you. They expected you to be this social god because, you are so charismatic in the first impression. But you're not, you're just a normal human being. So your relationships take a hit when you do this. And people lose respect for you, really. Because they previously thought you are this god, and now they realize you are not even human, but you're a loser, because what you actually believe down there can leak through every single atom of your body. You can't really hide it so well. Because when you are secure and when you are authentic, that is contagious, and that is respected by people, and that is something that is persistent and consistent. When you are secure, your behavior is pretty consistent. When you're insecure, you have a lot of inconsistencies in your behavior. So then, the only right way to go ahead and convince your subconscious right now that you're not a loser is to actually get proof that you're not a loser. You cannot try to improve your social skills and to get certain tips and tricks that you can just employ in the moment and make a change, because that does nothing on the long run. That doesn't reach your subconscious. The only thing that reaches your subconscious is actual experiences where you are able to interpret the feedback properly. And the only way to be able to do that is to step into who you authentically are. Because maybe you managed to master humor. Let's say you managed to master humor. But you don't really authentically feel like being so funny. You just know it's a pretty nice way of getting people's validation. The authentic you needs to come out. You need to take the courage to show the world the authentic version of you. That's the only way you will That's the only way you will ever be able to trust yourself. Because if you keep putting this persona up all the time, then you keep believing you're a loser, and then you keep believing that without that persona you are in danger and people reject you. What you need to do is to get proof that people don't reject you for who you really are. And that's when, after you've got enough proof and after you've iterated through this process again, which by the way is painful, is scary, and it involves a lot of social exposure, that's when you realize that it's not as bad as you thought. You can be yourself. You don't need all of those social skills advice. You don't need to talk about people's interests and compliment them. You don't need to do that just for validation. And when you take the pressure off and essentially just flow, when you're in a flow state like that, asking about their interests and compliments and being funny and charismatic, all of these things come naturally because the truth is they are already in you. That's something pretty natural. And social skills can still be improved, definitely. I'm not saying the advice you see online is all bad, but the advice you see online is for the version of you that's already able to flow. Unless you're able to already be in a flow state, if you are overthinking, you can't really do that. If you believe you're a loser, social skills do nothing for you. They just improve your shallow relationships. They just improve the shallow validation you get from people. But you will still feel horrible within. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. To feel better within. To feel more relaxed when you talk to people. Isn't it the case? If you need further assistance, I can help you personally if you click the link in the description. And I can give you advice based on your current life situation. So see you soon.